Hi, welcome back to Crazy Lee's Goat Farm and More. Today we're going to be talking about 9 things we wish we knew about goats before we got goats.
9's just a few of them. We could have more.
I mean, yeah, there could be hundreds, but these are the 9 things that we actually wish we knew before we got into goats.
Yes.
Alright, so we're going to get started with that. Yes. Alright, let me tell y'all something. Not all goats are the little dwarf goats that you think they are.
The Nigerian dwarf.
I mean, they are some big goats out there. I'm talking about mountain goats. Hey, y'all, if you've ever seen a Kiko goat, they stand about almost 6 feet tall. I may be a little exaggerating, but I don't think so, because the one I saw was supposed to be short.
Yes.
And
he weighed about 300 pounds, I think.
Oh my goodness.
He was huge.
I saw some mountain goats. We went to an auction. Those things were huge.
They remind me more of a reindeer.
I'm like, put a saddle on that. Ride it. y'all don't need a horse. Just get you a mountain goat.
Yeah. That thing.
They even have multiple horns to hold on to.
I know they did. We had to ask people what they was. Everybody's going around, what's that? What's that?
Yeah.
First I thought it was Jacob goats because they had the multiple horns.
Yeah.
But I said, no, there's just mountain. There was a specific kind of breed of mountain goats.
Yes.
And you also got to know that there's different kind of goats. You got your goats that's meant for meat.
Yes.
And then you got your goats that meant for dairy.
Yes.
If you go buy a meat goat and thinking you're gonna get gallons of milk a day, sorry, it doesn't work that way.
Nope, it don't.
Our first goats were just grays, bar goats. They just mixed goats.
They was.
And we
I think I got about a quart a time.
I mean, there's dairy goats tend to have bigger tits to grab.
Yes. Yes.
And when you get these little mixed goats, it's hard to milk them.
It is.
Because it's like trying to just get it.
Yeah.
And their back's not big.
No,
they're not.
But if you go buy a dairy goat and you think you're gonna butcher it and get lots of meat on it.
No, you don't.
Nope, you don't.
They neither have enough of meat nor do they have enough of fat on them.
No, they don't.
On them.
That's why when you get boar goats, their muscles are bigger.
Yes.
And they have more meat on them. And Kiko goats, they have lots of meat. Their muscles is bigger, and you get lots of meat. But when you get a dairy goat, they're more slender and taller and leaner looking. But their udder is huge. And you get the right goat.
I mean, Cinnamon. Remember Cinnamon's bag? That thing dragged the ground.
Yes,
it was so big.
Yeah.
You had to milk that goat. Sometimes you had to go out and milk that goat a 3rd time a day.
I was thinking you had to get a bridle going or so it wouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean, man, hers was so big.
Oh my goodness. But first thing we wish we knew that there was different kind of goats.
Yes.
And they all came in different sizes. Number 2. Medical needs. Alright, so if you think you're going to get an animal that you could just put in your yard and never have to take care of it,
wrong.
You don't know nothing about goats. I throw the book at you because you must know something I don't know.
I know.
Man, I thought I was going to get a goat, milk it, and be happy. Man, next thing I know, our goats come down with worms, coccidiosis, and this and that. I had no idea what to do. But through time, listening to people talking, everything we learned, you got to give the right kind of worm medicine.
Which changes yearly.
Yes. And you don't overworm your goat.
No, you don't.
Some people worms them 2 or 3 times a month. You don't. You only worm your goat twice a year, if that.
But it's like if you go get antibiotics every time you go to a doctor, you start building immunity.
Yeah.
That's when you got these super worms and you got super bacteria that you can't kill.
I know you can't, because you only give, like I said, a wormer maybe twice a year if you have to do that. If your goats has worms, if your goats don't have worms, you don't give wormer. You don't do it just to be giving it because it makes them immune to the worms. But every goat has worms, no matter what you do.
It's like dogs.
Yeah, but you try to put the overload of worms down.
But another thing about medical needs, it is hard to find a vet that takes care of goats.
Oh, I
It is.
know. Man,
And we live out in the
hard.
country. We're in the boondocks. You
tell
think you have hundreds of people out
if you
here.
have a vet that takes care of your goat, hats off to you.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Oh, put your hat back on. Oh, but anyhow, because a lot of vets around here say, yeah, we take care of goats. You get there and you try to figure out what's wrong, and the vet's like, okay, this is what I think. I said, oh, that sounds good, let's do that. But it's better to go to other people who has goats that had them longer than you and learn from them. And you don't have to do everything that people tell you. You figure out what's best for you.
And because like if certain areas has certain different needs.
Yeah.
You know, because it can rain down here a lot.
Yes.
And people that live higher up, they don't get as much rain.
No, they don't.
So they don't have all the things. We have to be careful because our goats will get ammonia like crazy.
They will.
If it rains and if they go outside, you better go out there the next day and check on your goat.
That's right. Yes. And another thing bad down here in the south is we don't have selenium in our ground no more. So you have to give your baby goats Bose, and you give your mama goats Bose a month before, so to be in their system. So if you don't, you have these really weak little babies that their legs don't work. They wobbly legs. So we've learned that over time. You got to give them Bose, and you got to give them CD&T. And when we first got goats, we had no idea about this. And don't go to the store to find goat medicine. They ain't none.
There ain't.
You go find cow medicine, then you gotta give them more than a cow. You're like, how do you give them more? Because a cow's bigger.
Their digestive system.
I know, but you don't think of that because a cow they don't have 3 stomachs like a goat does.
And I mean, another thing we wish we knew was when a goat gets babies, I know plenty of people that doesn't watch their goats get babies, but we had a couple troubles with our goats get stuck.
Yes.
We had to go out there and like the baby's hanging there, and I was like, oh my goodness. So we started watching our goats
Like this year, we had a real freaking thing happen. We had a mama that gave birth to 2 healthy babies. It was fine. The mama got up, started eating. We thought she had her afterbirth, but the next morning we went out there, and she was still down, still pushed. Like, oh Lord, what happened? And we had to go in and pull the baby out.
Yep.
So it's best to watch your goats when they have babies to make sure something like that don't happen.
So number 2, the goats have medical needs, and lots of them.
Yes.
Number 3. Number 3.
What goats eat?
You got to be careful what goats eat.
Yes.
Alright, so cartoons have lied to us all my life.
They have.
You know,
They can't eat cans.
they can't eat tires.
They can't eat tires.
They can't even eat strawberries.
Strawberries? Oh, that's because that's a nightshade family.
So,
Or potatoes.
or potatoes.
That's
Look,
in the nightshade family
they
too.
can't eat tomatoes. They can't eat potatoes. They can't eat anything that rhymes with potatoes.
Yeah, kinda.
Well, they can't eat strawberries.
No.
They can't eat jasmine. And you gotta be careful what's out in your yard.
Yes.
Because if you got what's called chokeweed, and they actually eat that, they start choking. And you have to go out there, open their mouth, stick your hand through the throat, and you gotta pull it out. Yeah, I have done that a few times. And it wasn't, let me tell you, it was not pleasing.
It stinks.
No, it
It's like,
stinks.
Talking about somebody having a very, very bad birth.
but another thing most people I wish we knew is that, because again, you get people things they get goats, they stick them out in the yard and they can just eat grass and they can eat whatever's in there. Susan, can goats eat grass?
No.
Well, they can.
They can, but
you gotta wait for the dew off of your grass gets off of them. Off of the grass. You gotta make sure that your grass is dry or you don't. Again, you get worms.
that's right.
Because when grass is wet, that's when the eggs start hatching off of your grass.
That's right. Because your goes out there and poops, and their eggs in the poop and the hatch, and they go up, they crawl up the grass because they can't live in the wet grass. They want a dry spot.
But you also gotta be careful because acorns.
That's right.
All right, so our goats are used to acorns from being born. Or lots of ours been born here, or they come from the exact same area around, and they're used to acorns. But if you get a goat that's from somewhere else and they ain't never had acorns, and they come down here, we made this mistake.
Yes, we did.
She ate acorns, and it was toxic to her.
Yes, and she bloated.
I mean. And
she died.
I mean, and talking about bloated, you gotta be careful how much grain and how much feed you give them.
Yes, you do.
Because if you give them too much, it can bloat them. And you're standing there and you're trying to get a goat to burp or to pass gas. That's a good way to say it. Yeah. And you're sitting there and you're you're hitting, rubbing, massaging the goat's left side where the ruminants at and trying to get them to pass gas. Because that's what bloating is. The gas gets trapped inside of their stomach and they can't get it out because there's so much in there.
And y'all, you don't really feed goats corn.
No.
It's not good for the animal. It doesn't give even any nutrients. It just, they don't even digest. It just goes right through them.
Yeah, so like a killer.
I mean, and you don't give it to your males.
That's right. We had that problem too. We learned from our mistake.
Why don't you give male goats corn, Mama?
Because it makes them have kidney infection, and it can cause them to have kidney disease, and they can't use the bathroom. Because of corn.
And like us, we have dairy goats.
Yes.
You gotta make sure you're giving your goats a lot of protein. And a lot of vitamins.
Fats and protein.
I mean, if Susan fed them just off the shelf brand goat food, your goats don't get enough nutrients. They start getting sick. They shrink up to nothing. And then when you're milking them, you're pulling all their nutrients out. And then when you got babies, the babies are pulling all their nutrients out of the mama. And
you got to give them, to get 1 gallon of milk, you got to give them 3 pounds of food. To get 1 gallon of milk.
So number 3, goats can't eat everything.
They can't eat cans.
And you can't use them as lawnmowers. I was upset about that too.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna put a rope on the goats and just like the cartoons again.
And they don't. And goats don't like grass that much.
No, they're foresters.
That's right.
They're not grazers.
That's right. Not like sheep. You want something to cut your lawn?
If you cut a branch down, they will attack those leaves.
Yes.
I know.
They will attack them like.
You just did that. You cut
like a fat man at a buffet.
I know. You just cut a couple branches down. There was bunches of leaves on there.
Yes.
We turned around. Where did the leaves go? They ate them. About 2 minutes later, they was bare.
So goats can't eat everything. Number 4. Dehorning goats. There are pros and there are cons of dehorning goats. Our preference is dehorning goats, but we have dairy goats.
Yes.
So we're handling, right?
That's right.
And your closer reaction, like if you have a bunch of goats and you're just raising meat goats, like a bunch of boars, and you just let them out in the field.
Yep.
Just fine. You're never really handling.
That's right.
I mean, it keeps them cooler. That's the purpose of the horns, and it gives them protection against predators.
Yes.
But us, we have a small farm, and we have dairy goats, and we're handling, and we have to go out there and feed them. And now, your legs can get stuck in horns, between the horns. Another goat can come down to ram the goat that you're stuck with, and your knee can get between that, and it can shatter, and it hurts a lot. It really lots. And then the rest of your life you're walking around limping and people's like, what happened to you? And you have to explain, oh, I got between 2 goats ramming each other. And then people laughs at you. I mean, it's not easy telling people that you got beat up by a goat. It's not like you got between a bull or something.
I know.
It's a goat. But another thing is like we're handling the goats, and
we are.
it's easier it's easier and we protect it because they can poke you.
Yes.
They can punch your rib.
Yes, they can.
I mean, it's dangerous.
And they can hurt one another. I mean, I've seen goats take one around the other one with their horns and get caught in there, and they get hurt.
Yes.
And with the horns, I've heard where people had goats, they get caught in the fence all the time. And
they get caught in the fence without the horns.
They do, but with the horns it's worse. And I've heard people have their goats caught in fences who would die because they didn't know their goat was caught in there.
About that one guy that had his goat, he had a buck and he went to get something off the limb, and he bent down the limb and he was using his horn, and then this tree suddenly went Fling!
Yes, and it hung the goat. I mean, that's a sad, it's a freaky thing, you know. Once in a while, I've ever done it, but you try not to think of things like that, but it does happen. So, but you have to decide whether you want your goats dehorned or not horned. And dehorning the goat is kind of like you go in there and it's like cutting your fingernails off. It don't hurt. The baby goats, they're more concerned about you holding them down.
It's like getting your teeth cleaned. You're sitting there and the dentist is there and you're screaming, ah! It's not because it hurts, but it's because you can feel the drill going.
And the sound.
Yeah, the sound.
And the sound. So it does not really hurt to dehorn a baby, and you try to do it within a week or two your age, and they have no idea. They just want their mama.
Yeah.
They want mama, they want their food, and that's all they want. So number 4 is dehorning goats. Number 5. We wish we knew about you have to trim their hooves.
Their hooves.
Yes.
I mean, Susan.
I can't trim hooves. I'm on balls.
What happens if you don't trim a goat's hooves?
Their hooves will go upwards, or they get these weird hooves, and it's not healthy.
And it starts hurting them, and they can't walk.
And you're milking them, and they cut you with them.
They do.
Ow! So hurty.
It hurts them so bad to walk on the hooves because they start turning inwards.
Yes.
Like what I've seen horses, the horse normally goes outwards, but goats they start turning inwards.
Yes.
And they actually can grow and go back inside their leg.
Yes.
And sometimes if people don't trim their goats hooves enough, they walk on their knees because their feet hurt so bad. And with us feeding high protein food, it makes their hooves grow faster.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then you have to learn how to trim their hooves a certain way because you want them even, and if they're not even, it throws their whole body off to have their hooves not trimmed the right way. And you got to trim their hooves at least every 2 months or something like that. And I had no idea when we got goats that you had to trim their hoofs. That was something you do what? But then you think about it, it's like having fingernails. How your fingernails grow so long. I mean,
I hate fingernails.
I don't like long fingernails. I mean, and their hoofs, and just think they walk like having your toenails. If you have too long a toenail, you'd be uncomfortable. And that's what it is to goats. And just think they're putting the whole pressure on that toenail and how they walk, and it hurts. So you have to have special equipment to trim your goat hoofs and everything, like a hoof trimmer and stuff. And you have to, like when you're getting old like me, I can't do it so much now with arthritis. I have to hire somebody to do it. So you just got to know, you got to take care of your goat hoofs.
Number 6. All right. So number 6 is a Susan thing.
Cows.
Number 6 is a Susan thing. Susan, milking twice daily.
That's when I get up 6 o'clock in the morning. Woo! 6 o'clock in the morning. It's very early in the morning, you know. But I still gotta do it. I still gotta do it when I'm sick. I gotta do it when it's raining. So cause it don't snow out where I'm at in Alabama. Yep, gotta do it when it snows.
She's like the poster lady.
That's right.
Rain, hail, sleet, or snow. The goats must be milked.
Yeah.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
But what's another reason we have to milk them twice a day?
For you test their milk with a still tester thing, whatever that's called. Yes, make sure they don't have mastitis, and make sure the baby's got all the milk out, and for us to have milk drink.
Mom, what's another reason?
Yeah.
Well, also, because if you don't milk the goat twice a day, their milk production just goes down.
Oh yeah.
And then their udder also gets too heavy and too full.
Uh-huh.
And it hurts them because how would you like to walk around with a big old udder that's so big? And we've had goats, some of them, their udder gets so full, they're walking, and every time their leg kicks, milk spraying out everywhere.
Yes.
Captain used to walk under them and drink them.
Oh, no, no.
Yes.
Yes, that's so funny.
That's what he's
But to keep your milk going at a regular productions, you have to milk twice a day. But this year, we're letting the babies nurse the mamas. So right now, we only do it once a day. In the morning time, we lock up the babies and we milk first thing. So we get about a gallon of milk per goat. But later on, when the goat starts weaning off, Susan has to go back twice a day.
Twice a day.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you can...
Another thing about milking, that's the time you're actually making sure that your goats are getting the food they eat.
Yeah.
Because
checking them
when you got 4 or 5 goats in one pen and they all fighting over the food, they'll butt heads and everything, you're not sure that your goats are going to get all the vitamins they need.
That's right. And then you also have to be on a schedule. Like Susan said, if you milk at 6 o'clock in the morning, 10 hours later, you got to milk again.
Yeah.
And if you milk...
And if you do not milk your goats at that time, they will cry.
Yes, they will.
They be sitting there. They know when it's time to milk. They have their inner clocks like, it's time to milk. Where's she at?
I know.
Where is she at?
I know. And then also their milk production will go up or down. If you milk them too late, they'll give you more milk that minute, but the next morning their milk will be down because they get too much milk at nighttime feeding.
So number 6 was milking twice a day.
Baby.
7, bottle babies.
Bottle baby.
So what are the pros and cons of having a bottle baby, Mama?
Well, the pros is that you know how much milk the babies are getting. That's number 1. My nose is itching, sorry about that. And number 2, the babies are more friendly because they're used to being around humans. And if you just lay the babies out there in the pasture and don't have nothing to do with them, the babies are scared of you and you can't control them more when you got to give them medicine and stuff. You're not being able to take care of the babies as much because they're trying to fight away from you.
What's the pros and cons of having bottle babies, Susan?
Well, you have a nephew. He makes them more tamer than anything. Now, okay?
The only problem with that is he wants to keep every goat that he touches.
I know.
That's why we got Marshmallow. But he makes them so friendly.
Yes, it's kind of like a little puppy because it follows you everywhere.
Some of the pros and cons of not having bottle babies is, again, they're unfriendly. They're not used to people.
Yes.
And it also the problem is, I mean, it sounds cruel, but if you leave them with their mama all the time, they can damage their udders.
Yes,
they are aggressive. And they got teeth.
Yes. They're born with teeth.
They're born with teeth. And people be like, well, why did you move them from their mama? That's cruel. Same thing with cows.
Yeah.
You don't let them nurse because they got teeth. And they will destroy their udder.
Yeah.
And you don't think, if they get cut on the udder, that they get infected.
And another thing, sometimes they like one tit better than the other. And one side of the bag don't get milked out, and the other side gets too much, and then that's how you get the wart bag. Udder.
I mean, it's protecting the mamas as well.
Yes.
Because they can get infected. They can get sick, and then you gotta get that. We had a goat that had got cut before, and we couldn't milk her no more.
That's right.
Yep.
Because her udder got infected, and she almost lost her udder.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
So the importance of bottle babies is you're protecting the mama. You are taming them.
Yes.
And they're easy, and they're also easier to sell when it comes time to sell.
And you know how much milk each baby's get. And you have to give the babies medicine. It's a whole lot easier putting in that bottle and mixing it with that milk.
Or if you need to give them a shot, it's easy when they're on that bottle, just to stick them real quick.
That's right.
And it's much easier if you do goat shows. It's much easier for them to walk in a circle with you.
Yes, because they're used to walking with you and stuff, being around you.
So, number 7, having bottle babies.
Oh.
Alright, number 8.
Number eight.
That's great. We're on number 8.
Thank goodness.
Oh.
Number 8, keeping your males and females separate. So,
For you not have stinky milk?
yes. Y'all, so a lot of people don't like what tastes of goat milk. But the issue is, lots of farmers and lots of dairy people does not separate their males from their female.
No, they don't.
And it creates a hormone.
Yes.
Yes.
So it makes the milk taste funky.
Yes, it
That's how you
does.
get the funky taste.
Yes. And it's nasty. I agree, it's nasty.
It is.
But our milk we keep them separate.
Our milk tastes
And
sweet.
it tastes sweet.
Yes. And also, if you keep the bucks separated, you know when the mother is going to have babies. Because you can know when they're going to be bred or not. Because like with dairy goats, they only breed from September to January. But then a lot of goats, like the Kikos and stuff, can breed year round.
Yeah. And y'all, bucks are aggressive breeders.
They are.
They are aggressive, and if you do not keep them separated, and you have one female that's in heat, they will attack all the females.
Yes.
And it can hurt them.
Yes. And too young of a females, like the babies and stuff, they'll try to breed them too. And they'll be too young and they get bred too soon and they can have complications.
So
Yes.
keeping your males and females separate.
Yep.
9.
Yay! Number 9! Last one! Yay!
Number 9, if you are leaving your farm for a vacation or for just a couple days, you have to have someone to take care of your animals.
Yes.
Right. That's like, they'll have to come milk twice a day.
Again,
Yes.
goats are not an animal you can just tie to a brick and just throw them out in the middle of anywhere and they'd be alright.
No.
They're not grazers, so
No.
you can't just let them depend on eating grass.
That's right.
So you have to have someone to come. If it's milking season, guess what, Susan?
They have to go milk my goat.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
And they have to come feed all the animals on the farm, not just the goats, the chickens, and everything else we have, and the rabbits. So you have to get somebody who's well equipped and knowledgeable of all the animals we have.
Yes.
And it's so hard to come up with somebody who'll come over here twice a day,
Twice a
Twice
day.
a day.
feed the animals and the goats.
And we thank you, Sandra, and we thank you, Aunt Mud, because they take shifts.
Yes.
One will come one time and one will come another time.
Ain't Mud want milk, but Sandra and Mitch does.
But no farm will come and milk.
Yes.
So, if you are going on vacation, like we started going to these YouTube meetups and everything.
Yes.
We go for a couple days. We have to have someone to come and milk the goats.
Like on Sundays when we go to church, we have to get up extra early and feed all the animals, milk all the goats, and then go in and get a shower and eat breakfast and get ready to go to church. So if you go anywhere, you gotta prepare to go places with your animals to take care of your animals before you go somewhere. And then when you go out and you're gone, you gotta make sure you come home in time to milk the goats.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
So just know that if you have a farm, especially if you have goats and stuff, you've got to prepare to be home in time to milk your goats, feed your animals, and everything. So if not, you have to get somebody to come do it for you.
Yes.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
Twice a
But
day.
Steven, we have a milking machine now.
Man, I remember those days. Yeah, I got some big old fingers. They fat. And it hard.
We used to milk 12 goats a day.
Yes.
By hand.
Yes.
Twice a day.
That's right.
Twice a day.
Time you get through milking one time, when you get all your goats done, you go in and eat lunch. It's time to do it again.
Yes.
But y'all, that is our list for the 9 things we wish we knew before we got goats. Again, there are plenty more things we wish we knew, but these are 9 things we wish we knew.
Yes.
So, y'all, we're gonna close out this video.
So please like
And subscribe.
And hit that annoying bell.
and
It's gonna be right here.
somewhere. And
Bye, y'all! Susan, what you got on your paper?
What I got on my paper? Nothing.
Why?
Because I can't read.
But it looks nice.
I can do this.
You just tore up your notes! Why? Why?
Because I can't read.
Alright. Give me that sweet tea. Y'all, today brought by Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea. What keeps the South running?
Sweet tea.
That's sweet. Y'all, she's leaving me.
Bye.
They're leaving me.
Okay, get my sweet tea too.
Sweet tea, twice a daily. Only thing that's better is goat milk.